Cleveland Browns had an interesting start to the season, getting blown out by the Baltimore Ravens, but then they rallied back, man. They rallied back, and aside from a weird Jets game, I thought they had a very successful year. Keep in mind, man, this was a team that almost went to the Super Bowl. And this squad, I think, is only getting better. What's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy, Bro Schmo. Just in case you did not know so, go ahead, become a bro, and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you appreciate the content. And let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have it out with that nice football discourse. But the Cleveland Browns, we're going to be taking a look at the roster, do a little bit of a breakdown. I'll give you my projected stars for the season. And, as always, a prediction for the 2021 season. I'm pretty high on the Browns. I want to go ahead and talk about it because I love Baker Mayfield. That's right, I said it. But let's look at the roster. Baker Mayfield, man. Dude's really come together, I think. And he's in the right offense, man. Kevin Stefanski there with Alex Van Pelt. They run a heavy outside zone run blocking scheme, but they incorporate a lot of play action. I mean, when you're going to run the ball a lot, you better be incorporating play action, but a lot of the passing concepts there are pretty horizontal. But I think that they brought in some guys that could get it done vertically in Anthony Schwartz out of Auburn. He's just this big speedster. Obviously, OBJ can do that, but this team wants to run the football. They ran the football at the fourth highest rate last season. They deployed play action at the seventh highest rate in 2020. You gotta wonder, hey, will they let Baker kind of sling the football? But I mean, honestly, they don't really have to. But I think they will take some shots here and there. Even Donovan Peoples-Jones, man, guy's got kind of like long field speed, so he's a good threat downfield. But yeah, this team, I don't blame them for wanting to run the football. They got the best running back duo in the league in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. But even better, they might have probably the best offensive line in football. There, I said it. It's a good offensive line. I mean, where to start? I mean, the weakest part of their line last year was probably their rookie, Jedrick Willis, and he looked phenomenal, playing left tackle for the first time in his career as well, by the way. But yeah, man, this line's really, really good. I really like the addition of James Hudson as a developmental prospect. A lot of people view him as a developmental tackle. I think he can come in and play guard early if they really want him to. But he's out of Cincinnati, former defensive lineman. There at Michigan, then he ended up transferring. But yeah, I really like that. I'm a huge fan of Nick Harris. I've made that known. I think that was the 2020 draft. I'm a sucker for undersized centers. What can I say? I don't know what it is. But in terms of the starting five, phenomenal. Yes, run the football. Shoot, you even could throw Andy, Jonovic, the fullback, into there. He's probably the second best fullback in the league, which, I mean, it's kind of a position that it's not really utilized too much anymore, but there's a couple of guys that make it work in today's modern NFL. Like, let's be honest, probably the weakest position on offense is tight end. And I think that's still quality. They invested a good chunk of money in Austin Hooper. I think he's fine enough. David Njoku, stupid good athlete. But I mean, what I really like is the promising second-year player in Harrison Bryant. I actually at one point had him as my tight end 1 in the 2020 draft, but I thought he showed some good flashes there. They could probably move on from Njoku if they could find someone willing to trade for him. Don't know if that'll happen, but yeah, honestly, tight end is probably the weakest part on this roster. Like, looking at receiver, and I mean, Demetric Felton's probably more of a slot guy than actual running back, but I mean, he brings a little bit of pizzazz to, I guess, the running back position. D'Ernest Johnson was pretty solid when he had to step up last year when Nick Chubb got hurt. So, yeah, the wide receiver position, Jarvis Landry, obviously, very benefits a lot from a horizontal passing scheme. He's one of the best underneath targets you can have. I mean, Rashard Higgins is pretty solid in his own right, too. He's a good I don't know. I feel like Donovan Peoples-Jones this year, this will be the year he kind of overtakes Higgins. So I say this will be the year. He was just a rookie last year, but I think Donovan Peoples-Jones is their ideal bigger vertical target there. So yeah, it'll be interesting. I don't know what more to say about this offense. It's really good. I like it a lot. They're gonna want to win games by grinding it out, win the time of possession, and a offense that could honestly blow the top off of any defense at any given moment, because Baker Mayfield can do that, and he's got some playmakers that can do that as well. So yeah, I guess let's just get to the defense, because I think that's the more interesting aspect of this team, because this defense was kind of a bit of an overhaul. Let me take a gander here. There we go. But defensive coordinator is Joe Woods. They basically run like a base 4-3, if you want to call it, but they run a lot of cover 3. And the thing is that Woods has been reported saying he wants to play more sub packages, but not just that. He was like, I can see this team being more of a dime heavy type of scheme, and I'm like, what? That's wild. I know we're in an NFL where 75% of the time they're in some sort of sub package, so it shouldn't be that mind blowing. But it kind of makes sense with some of the things they've done this off season. And I like in a scheme. If let's be honest, okay, linebacker, it is the worst position on this roster. They're not that good at linebackers, so why not keep the linebackers off the field? And you might be like, well, they just drafted a linebacker in the second round in JOK. Let's talk about JOK. So JOK he's speedy, he's stupid explosive. He feels more like a dime linebacker or maybe a jumbo safety than an actual linebacker. He's more of this modern day linebacker. So then, like, if Woods really does want to play more dime, I suppose, then yes, add in a guy like JOK to your linebacking core. It does make sense. They also bring in Anthony Walker, he's a savvy vet at the position. I think he probably locks it down in the middle. I know a lot of people like Mac Wilson. The dude's just not good, man. He's not good in coverage. He's not he's a missed tackle machine. He was literally a highlight reel coming out of college. That's it. Jacob Phillips, I actually like him more as a special teamer, but I think he's quality. I hope I think BJ Goodson's still a free agent. I hope they bring him back, though. I think he'd be quality depth. Really no one else of note to talk about in the linebacker core. Maybe like Tony Fields might make the practice squad, but he's kind of like your budget JOK. That's what he was coming into the draft out of, what was it? I know he was like a grad transfer from Arizona. I think it was West Virginia. But, I mean, Malcolm Smith's all right. But, yeah, not much to talk about with the linebacker core. But they made some key additions to the secondary. Mainly, they got a deal when it came to John Johnson, probably a top 10 safety in the league. I really liked that pickup in the first round. Grabbing Greg Newsome, I thought was solid. Like, let's be honest, Greedy Williams, we haven't really got a chance to see what he can do. So now Newsome comes in to challenge the other outside corner spot, because Des Ward, he's got that locked down. Troy Hill is going to be the slot. He's one of the better slot players in the league. So it'll be really interesting. I mean, I have no problem them bringing in competition at the corner position. MJ Stewart's also there. They picked him up last year from Tampa, he's a quality depth player. That's about it. So I really actually like the corners that they have there on the roster right there right now. When it comes to the secondary, they're going to get a healthy Grant Delpit, which is great. I don't know. Right now, like in minicamp, he was able to do individual drills. Don't know if he'll be ready by training camp, which is fine, because Ronnie Harrison was actually really good last year for the Browns. So that's great. You're gonna be 3 deep at safety, solid. You're gonna have solid corners. The secondary actually looks pretty darn good. But when it comes to Woods, last season, he didn't blitz a lot, but when he did, this team was very unsuccessful. This guy wants to get pressure with his front four. Because, I mean, unsurprisingly, I mean, if you're not that good at blitzing, or at least at executing, when it comes to blitzing, bringing extra pressure, then just win with your front four. And I think they really brought in some guys to help them do that. We could start with probably the least impressive of the group when it comes to defensive line, Andrew Billings. The dude is like a run stuff and nose tackle. That's about it. He opted out of last year. I really only expect him to be on the field on early downs, but Jordan Elliott really carved out a role for himself last season. He might probably still be used as a rotation guy, but man, I was really high on him going into the 2020 draft. But I thought he played pretty darn well last year. Malik Jackson, they brought in out of Philly. He's a good body to have there. Might probably be the snap leader when it comes to the interior players. They drafted Tommy Togiai, who's pretty explosive pass rusher from the interior. Sheldon Day is a very good quality depth guy. Marvin Wilson was a phenomenal undrafted free agent signing. Don't know if he makes a team, but they got some depth there on the interior. And I think they're going to be able to rush the passer effectively with guys like Elliott, Togiai, and Jackson. Then when it comes to your edge, yes, Myles Garrett, one of the best edge rushers in the league, and they're pairing up with Javion Clowney, a guy that can kick inside as well. He's got a little bit of versatility there, and he's trying to find the match again. I actually like him as the second edge rusher in this group. So I thought that was a great signing. Tack McKinley coming in as more of a rush linebacker, but he'll be a fun guy to have on third downs when you really want to bring the pressure. So yeah, this team got much better in regards to if they want to bring pressure with just the front four, then they can do that. They brought in a lot of speed with JOK there at linebacker. Shoot, even Jacob Phillips is stupid fast. But yeah, man, I really like this defense. I like what they're doing. I like where they're going. I think, hey, if the weakest spot on your defense is linebacker, then shoot, just stick to those sub packages because they got some quality players there in the secondary. Shoot, man, I really hope Sheldrick Redwine actually makes the squad. He's been a solid special teams player, former Miami Hurricane, so I got a soft spot for him. Pretty sure he played for the Hurricanes. But yeah, I guess let's go ahead to my projected starters. Let's take a moment to talk about today's sponsor, Underdog Fantasy. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest and the best place to go play fantasy football for big cash prizes. Ooh, wee. And let me tell you, Underdog, they got you covered. All you have to do is draft. No need to worry about injuries, waivers, or lineups. Underdog, they got you covered. So go online or use the app, which is pretty slick, and just draft a season-long best ball team, and they take care of the rest. No in-season management required. And they're willing to give you $25 when you sign up so you can take a shot in their $1 million fantasy football tournament, or you can play in some other best ball leagues, or even make prop bets. Now you get that free $25 on Underdog when you use the promo code BROSCHMO. It's free to sign up, so use promo code BROSCHMO. Bam, you get your $25 once you make your first deposit. So drop a buck in there, bam, you got $26. You big spender, y'all baller. But go ahead, support Underdog. It helps me out. It's always much appreciated, much obliged. And if you're looking for more fantasy content from me, check me out on TikTok at BroSchmo. The link's in the description below. When it comes to projected starters, I go with the guys that I think are going to get the most snaps. I don't care about your base offense, base defenses, whatever. I want to know who's going to be on the field the most. That's how I do these projected starters. So starting with the offense, Baker Mayfield, Nick Chubb, Odell Beckham, and then Jarvis Landry. And then actually the second tight end, because let's go. I got Austin Hooper, and then I think Harrison Bryant will probably edge out David Njoku. But the second tight end was just above, in terms of snaps, Kareem Hunt. last season. Well, it would have been Nick Chubb because Nick Chubb actually ended up with less snaps because he missed 4 games with the injury. So, like, honestly, this team has 2 running backs on the field more often than they actually have a slot guy or a second tight end. It's kind of wild. Kind of like it. Jedrick Wills, we got Joe Bitonio? Man, I could never get his name right. JC Treader. Wyatt Teller, by the way, Wyatt Teller, what a year last year. What a year. Might be the best player on their offensive line. And then Jack Conklin. It's a very good offense. Everyone knows who's going to be the starters. On defense, Myles Garrett. I got Javion Clowney as your edge. Malik Jackson, I think, will probably be the guy to lead the snaps in the interior, being the veteran player there. Andrew Billings, but really, I think Elliott's going to be really close to him. And then Anthony Walker, JOK, Denzel Ward, Greg Newsome. I got winning the starting spot over Greedy Williams. Troy Hill, John Johnson. And then I got Ronnie Harrison just because I don't think Grant Delpit will be ready by the beginning of the year. And even then, I think all 3 of these safeties are going to get a lot of work. So how do I think they're going to do? Well, pretty well, obviously. I got them at 12-5. Not winning the division. They almost did, though. But I got them going 4-2 in the division. They got another tough game. They opened last year with the Ravens. They got the Chiefs this year. That's gonna be tough. But they also have one of the weaker schedules. Having to face the Texans, a Bears team that's in flux. I think the Vikings game will be very interesting. It'll be fun to watch. But Chargers, pretty tough squad there. But yeah, outside of that, they got like the Lions, the Raiders. You get to face the Bengals twice. And I know the Bengals, they're building still. They're not there yet. But yeah, no, I really like I don't know how many times I can say it. I really like this Cleveland team. I think they're gonna play pretty darn well. I think Baker Mayfield really gets overshadowed, whether it's by Lamar Jackson or by Josh Allen. Like Baker, I think is on that level with those guys. A lot of people don't think so. I beg to differ, man. I think he runs this offense very efficiently, and if he needs to step up and bring this team back, much like we saw against KC last season, he can. But that's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. Let me know what you think in the comment section below, and as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.